Hello, welcome to the latest edition of the Counter Press with me, Fiifi-Manfred. Thank you very much for choosing us. And like we always do, please do like, subscribe, share on our YouTube page, share for us. And we're always happy to hear from you. Like we always do, again, there's always going to be the link in the description below for you to join the Fiifi-Manfred fan page. Join in on WhatsApp. Let's talk about football. Let's discuss football for ourselves. Also, today's episode actually is about a big one. So there have been news that broke in all over Europe that Jude Bellingham seems to be edging closer and closer to Real Madrid. So there is a need for a tactical player analysis of who Jude Bellingham is, how he influences this Real Madrid team, how he has played from Birmingham straight to Dortmund, and how he's going to be of importance to Carlo Ancelotti's side if he's still their manager next season. So let's delve straight into it. First of all, Jude Bellingham is a kamikaze of a midfielder. I mean, he was born in 2003 to African-American parents, African-British parents. For a boy that played in his boyhood club in Birmingham, he had seen a lot of stuff. Jude Bellingham literally carried that Birmingham side at some point in time, played some very good football. And while scouts did watch him, they knew that was a gem in the making. Like we already know, Jude Bellingham has been linked to some top players like Steve Gerrard about how good he is as a player, what he can give you on the ball, what he gives you off the ball. And then, of course, is the mystical frenzy in his play that, for me, gets him close to a certain Stevie Gerrard. But really, we'll talk about why really Jude Bellingham isn't Steve Gerrard kind of player in the analysis. So keep on watching. So first of all, when Jude Bellingham left Birmingham to go to Dortmund, he was just a little over 16 years old, somewhere 17. He had played in the 4-2-3-1 under Marco Rose at some point under Lucien Favre. He had played in the wide areas of the attacking trio. So he played up front as a winger, somewhat like what Valverde plays for Real Madrid now, and then comes inverted to the middle of the park when the team doesn't have possession. So Jude Bellingham played like that. There have been games where sometimes in his days at Birmingham, he played in the deep hole, in that Arthur Karanke's rigid 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1 Birmingham style of play. He played deeper as a defensive midfielder. Generally, even as a box-to-box midfielder, he added a lot to the team. So Jude Bellingham essentially gives you much more in the first phase of ball progression, second phase, and even in the final third, where he gives you even more these days. But let's get into it. I think that if you look at Jude Bellingham, first of all, it is the kamikaze-like attitude of his play. The fact that he is a much more bulldozing midfielder. So in this day and age where athleticism and then, of course, commandeering in the middle of the park is important for top teams, Jude Bellingham has been very important. In his early days at Dortmund and Lucien Favre and Marco Rose, he could pick the ball, and then his progressive attributes could show. He's a very good progressive midfielder. His progressive carries have been very, very good at Dortmund in the last few years that he has been there. He showed how much of a good midfielder that he is. In this day and age where attacking angles are very, very important at the highest level, you need somebody like that. You need somebody who can carry the ball and then push forward. If you look at Madrid's younger generation of midfielders, excluding Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, he is the better in terms of the progressive abilities, the progressive ball carrying abilities. Maybe the only person that comes close is Eduardo Camavinga and Federico Valverde in that order, but he is a better ball carrier than all of these three midfielders. So it means that once he gets into that Madrid team, he's going to be a very good ball carrier for the team when things are very, very needed and are important for him to carry the ball forward for them. Also, in the first phase, I have personally witnessed some of the frailties of Aurelien Tchouameni's play, and it's the fact that he doesn't really manipulate the ball a lot of the times. Also, his movement without the ball has been a little bit suspect. In a midfield where there's a certain Jude Bellingham, I think that the commandeering attitude of Jude Bellingham and his athleticism can add a lot more, and to make sure that that's part of Aurelien Tchouameni's play gets to the notch. Whilst Aurelien Tchouameni will be that deep line playmaker in that hole for them, Jude Bellingham as an attacking number 8 can offer that, especially the off-the-ball movement as an attacking number 8 for Real Madrid. So that's what he has. But then, mind you, in their last few seasons for Dortmund, I think that Jude Bellingham's game has evolved somewhat. And let's get straight into it. First of all, is his dribbles per game. I think that Jude Bellingham recently has had some very, very good dribbles per game. Also, the fact that he doesn't just carry the ball with his athleticism and the fact that he has a lot of energy to bulldoze through players and then carry the ball forward. What he does now, his positional awareness in and around the positional box has been very, very good. That is why in Germany, he has done so good in terms of their attacking dangers and positional areas for Dortmund. Also, Jude Bellingham, whilst there was Erling Braut Haaland, used to be the two key players for Dortmund to lead up their press. He always backed the press for Erling Braut Haaland whilst he was there. So the athleticism gives him the ability to back the press and press like a bulldozer. Mind you, for a young player to be known as a very good presser in Germany is something that is huge, because Germany, the football is much more tactical, it's much more intense. The press is high over there. Almost even the teams at the lower tier of the league or of the table even press higher and press well. So for Jude to stand out as a very good presser from midfield is one of the best that you can get. Mind you, he's in the top 5% midfielders of pressers in the German Bundesliga since he has been there. So that's what he gives you. Now he doesn't just carry the ball, he's a good passer of the ball. He has the athleticism to carry the ball forward. Also, his attacking, opposition attacking box positioning in dangerous areas has also increased marginally in the last few years in Dortmund as well. Also, apart from that as well, he attacks and finds that last minute runs in the 18-yard box like every other box-to-box midfielder is going to do, like he has done for Dortmund in the German Bundesliga. So generally, Jude's game has evolved and the numbers do back it, and that's exactly why, according to FBref, he makes 2.88 shot creating actions per game, which is huge. Like I said, this is a shot creating action. It is just in and around the opposition 18-yard box. His actions have been good. The off-the-ball movement that you need him in those attacking areas, the left and right half spaces, he adds so much to it. So before, Jude just used to carry the ball forward. Now the attacking actions in opposition area has also increased, and according to FBref, he does a very, very good job at that. Jude seems to be the guy. Apart from that, also, his dribbling has been so good in recent times. Jude seems to be dribbling very, very well. He has added that bit to his game, not just carrying the ball forward, but when you are engaged in a 1v1 battle, whether outward or centrally, Jude seems to be good. And that's exactly why he has 1.85 successful dribbles per game since 2022 when he joined the German Bundesliga. So he has been good in that regard as well. For a midfielder that has athleticism, a midfielder that can pass, a midfielder that has very good shot creating actions per game also, Jude Bellingham is really there. And of course, one thing that you also need to watch is that Jude Bellingham takes 3.28 touches in the attacking penalty area per game, and that is in the top 3% of midfielders in the world. At this age, Jude Bellingham, top 3% midfielders per age. The actions, attacking actions on the opposition 18-yard area, Jude Bellingham gives you that in recent times. Whilst Jude Bellingham has been able to do a lot of good work without the ball by pressing, and while Erling Braut Haaland was there leading the press and doing a very good job, in recent times, even when the teams have sat in a low block or in a mid block, he has also shown to be a very good player to play inside zonal marking ability. He sticks so well in those zones, makes sure he blocks very good passing lanes, especially when his team is under attack. And that also is being backed by the statistics where Jude Bellingham has shown to have 2.5 defensive blocks per game at Dortmund. So all of these generally makes Jude Bellingham, it gives him the blueprint of a player. My issue generally with Jude Bellingham is that in recent times, he seems to be doing everything. Jude Bellingham can progress the ball. Jude Bellingham can give you a very good off-the-ball movement in the second phase to carry the ball forward. He's a very good progressive carrier. The attacking movements in the final third is very good for him. He adds shots, attacks the penalty box. He's athletic. He has the good technique and all of these things. But that really is the issue. If you remember when Jude Bellingham was likened to a certain Steven Gerrard. Steve Gerrard was known as a player that, whilst he was good generally as a midfielder, when Liverpool needed magic, a miracle from somewhere across the pitch, he gave it to them. Jude Bellingham seems to be doing everything, and that shows in this game, in this time when they played against Hoffenheim in the German Bundesliga. At some point, he was up top trying to receive the ball. He dropped deeper to come and pick the ball. He went into the wide area. A lot of the things that Jude Bellingham is trying to do on the pitch, and that is the little issue with Jude Bellingham. Maybe he has to be honed to be a much more specific midfielder. He needs to hone that craft to the point where he is much more specific. The specificity will be very important for Jude Bellingham going forward anyhow he plays. It's a story of a wonderful midfielder. Like I said earlier, Jude Bellingham actually, he is his attributes, his skill set, his profile is the blueprint for a modern day box-to-box midfielder, an outstanding box-to-box midfielder. He's going to be a specimen for Real Madrid. In that midfield, there's going to be a balance of athleticism. There's going to be a balance of a commander-in-chief in that midfield from Jude Bellingham, Federico Valverde, or Enchimene. Really doesn't lead so much in the middle of the pack. He's going to do that very good first phase of ball progression ball. But whilst Jude receives the ball, one, he can progress the ball. He can find those very good attacking angles and carry forward, send those diagonal passes outward to the wingers as well. And of course, up top as an attacking number 8, what you need from him is that very good attacking movement in front of the opposition 18-yard box. And whilst all of this is done, he's going to attack the box and possibly give you goals. So Jude, as like I said, his profile and his skill set is the blueprint of a modern day attacking box-to-box midfielder. What he won't get is that at Real Madrid, if they need him to be the tactic, if they need him to do the magic, maybe Jude is not going to have that because he has an array and myriad of qualities, but doesn't really specify at one thing. So that's it again, the end for us here on the Counter Press. My name still remains Fiifi-Manfred. Thank you very much for choosing us. Please, if you've not